Geeks with beards. Podcast.
Fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight, never running from a real fight. She is the one named Sailor Moon. She will never turn her back on a friend. She is always there to defend. She is the one on whom we can depend. She is the one named Sailor Venus, Sailor Mercury, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter. Secret powers also new to her. She is the one named Sailor Moon. Fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight. When the sailors got to help fight, she is the one named Sailor Moon. She is the one named Sailor Moon. She is the one, Sailor Moon.
Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of the Geeks with Beards podcast. And today, we are going to be talking about some Sailor Scouts from Japan. But before we do that, let's catch up, man. What's been going on since the last episode?
We're finishing up our suicide awareness shows, and then we'll start heading for Halloween stuff.
Ooh, can't wait for the Halloween shows, man.
Those are going to be fun. We do the Misfits.
Hell yeah.
But as far as other stuff, I went to a friend's house this weekend, and I watched this movie. I really can't remember the name of it, but it was like a Godzilla spoof,
Okay.
but the monster was this dude's ass. It was on Tubi, if that tells you anything.
Okay.
Okay, so I wish I could remember the name of it. I messaged my friend. If she messages back, I'll let you know what it is. But
Okay.
like literally, this dude was taking a beach vacation with this girl, with his wife, and he got bit by this radioactive.
Like a lizard or something? Or?
It was some kind of little animal. I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
And so he went to get it treated, and the whole time his wife is trying to kill him to get some insurance money. But anyway, he goes to get treated, and the guy does the thing. He's like, okay, make sure you take a salt enema. It's very important.
Okay.
And the movie was racist as hell,
Well.
just so you know.
When did it come out?
Like early 2000s.
Oh,
Okay. So anyway, he doesn't do the salt enema, so his ass becomes like a Godzilla monster.
Okay.
Long story short, and let me back up. Before it becomes a monster, they try to treat it before, and they use this radiation thing, and then that's what causes it to become a monster.
Say if you ever watch a Godzilla movie, don't do any kind of thing, man.
Well, they broke it off in his ass, so.
Okay. Okay. So it did detach. Did it detach from him, or is he always connected
yes,
to
it did.
Okay.
And they had the Mothra Singing Girls spoof.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was a spoof of that.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what it was, and
Yeah.
she's like, this is what it is, because she's a big Godzilla fan,
Yeah.
too. I was like, okay. And, so it was
Something to watch.
It was a fun, stupid-ass movie.
Okay. Now, did it come from Japan, or was it here?
No.
No.
But
Okay.
they made it seem like it did. It was the worst green screen I've ever seen in my life.
Okay. Hey, man, Tubi's got them bad movies on there, man.
Like, Power Rangers is like freaking a Scorsese movie compared to this.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes they're so bad they're good, and sometimes they're just bad. I don't know about this one. This might be just bad.
I liked it. It was so bad, but
If you can get the name of it, man, I'll definitely check it out for
yeah,
sure.
I'll find out by the end of this episode. All right, what about you?
Well, let's see. Since, what have I done? Let's see. I've read a few new comics. I finally got issue 24 of Transformers. It was good. I loved it, but I was a little underwhelmed, honestly. I feel like Daniel Warren Johnson was like, okay, this is my last book. Like, he didn't half-ass it, but I don't know. I felt like there should have been more or a better fight between Optimus and Megatron. It's like we were building up to this for like 23 issues almost. It was a good fight. He kind of wraps it up, kind of don't, because of course it's going to continue with 25, but Robert Kirkman's going to come in as a new writer. So I don't know if what kind of trajectory we're going to take with that, but it was good. I definitely recommend it. It was really good. Let's see, what else have I done? Speaking of movies, I've got into watching some horror movies, the Hell House LLC franchise. And it started in, I forgot when the first one came out now. 2015 maybe? And they're like found footage horror movies. And basically, the simple plot of it is, well, not the simple plot, but basically is this hotel in upstate New York called the Abaddon Hotel. And the first movie basically is these people that run haunted houses every year. They come to the Abaddon Hotel, which has been run down, closed down since the 80s, set up this haunted house, and you find out that it's basically a real haunted hotel by like demonic forces. Because the person who had owned it in the 80s had him and his cult that he had created committed suicide, and they were like a demonic cult. And he had found a way to open the gate to hell and blah, 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 stuff like that. There's the fifth one just came out in August of this year. I've watched the first three. They're all on Tubi. I really like them. 4 and 5 I've been told are prequels. 4 I think is only available like on AMC Plus or Shudder with subscription. And 5th one's not out yet to stream. So I recommend them. If you like found footage movies, some people do, some people don't. I'm not the biggest fan, but these I like. I like the found footage stuff. So these were pretty fun movies. Let's see, other than that, I think it's been about, what?
I finished Twisted Metal Season 2.
I ain't even started it yet. I ain't even started it yet. Is it? Hell yeah, man. I need to do that. I need to watch Alien Earth. There's just so many shows I need to watch, and I've just been keeping up with Peacemaker, and that's about it so far, and going back and rewatching some like old cartoons and stuff. So, all right, so we will jump into it here. Like I said, we are going to be reading the Sailor Moon manga, and we're reading Act 1 of Volume 1, and just real quick, I know you got a little bit of history, but just real quick, it originally was released in 1991, and it was written and illustrated by Naoko Takeuchi. If I pronounce the name wrong, I do apologize. It ran from 1991 to 1997, and this one here that we have, this belongs to your wife, and these were the re-releases, right? The 2003 ones?
If I understood it right, it was to coincide with the new series on Hulu that they were doing.
All right. This is the first time read for me. I've never read a Sailor Moon manga. I have watched a little bit of the cartoon. We'll touch on that at the end of the episode. But it was fun. It was a fun read. I'll say that ahead of our ending thoughts, but I'll add more to it later. But it was a fun read. I liked it. All right, so we'll jump into it. Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. We open to a woman who's reading a newspaper about Sailor V. And I took it as this was a real hero, I guess.
Yeah, that'll go into the history. Like,
the
girl that wrote this.
Yeah,
I'll just go and start it here.
Yeah.
Her first story was Sailor V.
Okay.
So, and this came like right after that because she wanted to make like a team book.
Gotcha. Okay. Because that's kind of the way I was reading it, because it was shown in the newspaper that said Sailor V had stopped some bank robberies and some stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, so I guess it's a real hero in the universe or whatever.
Sailor V was established with a short story, and then they're like, hey, we like this, make us more.
Make more of it? All right. Hell yeah. So we see a lady reading the newspaper, and it's talking about Sailor V had stopped some jewelry thieves and had returned a 12 trillion yen diamond. And you find out that the woman in the newspaper is Usagi's mother. Now, Usagi is or will become Sailor Moon. Now, we're going to be using the Japanese names, the proper names, because that's what was in the manga, of course. We'll discuss the differences here in a little while with the cartoon. So she yells at Usagi and says, "Wake up for school. It's already past 8 o'clock. Usagi jumps up and she's like, "Why didn't you wake me up earlier, dum-dum, where I wouldn't be late?" And, so she's rushing up. She's, brushing her teeth and trying to get ready and stuff like that. And she pretty much introduces herself. She says, "My name is Usagi Suniko, 14 years old in my second year of middle school." And she admits that she's a little bit of a crybaby. She's like, "I don't want to go to school. Why can't it be the weekend?"
See, that threw me off because I thought they were in high school.
That's what I thought too, but maybe that comes from the cartoon, maybe?
Maybe they matured them up a little bit.
Maybe, yeah. So, yeah, I did too. Yeah, I think that's probably the cartoon on that one. So, she's on her way to school. And so she's walking to school and she steps on something. She's like, What was that? What did I step on? She turns around as a poor little old black cat. She steps on a little old black cat. And, you see that the little black cat's got 2 Band-Aids on its forehead. And, she looks down and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you. What was you doing out here in the middle of the road?" Basically. And the cat scratched her. And she's like, "What?" She's like, "Come on." She's like, "What? I'm trying to help you out. I didn't mean to step on you. You didn't have to scratch me." So she goes and removes the Band-Aids from the cat's forehead. And you notice on the forehead is a crescent moon symbol on its forehead. Well, she just moves, kind of sets it back down or whatever, And she arrives at school later that day, and she's forced to stand in the hallway because she's late. As soon as she arrives, because when she's setting the cat down the street, she can hear the bells ringing from the school. As soon as she arrives, the teacher yells at her, "Usagi, you're late again!" So makes her stand out in the hallway. And she's basically like, "Why do I have to stand out in the hallway just because I'm late?" She's like, "Oh, well, whatever." She's like, "I'm a little hungry. I did miss breakfast." So she's opening up her lunch and we'll start eating on her lunch. And her teacher opens the door. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" You're out here for punishment. What are you doing? And she's just like, "Oh, I'm hungry. I miss lunch. I miss breakfast. I'm hungry." And, so she's like, "Look," she's like, you need to change your attitude. You need to study harder. Look at this test." She hands her a test and it says she made 30%. She failed this test. And she's like, and she's thinking to herself, she's basically like, "Yeah, I failed the test because I hate English. I don't want to learn English." Complaining. And 2 other students come by and they talk to her. It's like, "Hey, how'd you do on the test?" And a boy named Yumino and her best friend Naru are the 2 people that show up. And Yumino, he's like, "Hey, I didn't even have to study. I made 95% on my test." And Naru says that she made, I think, 85%. I think that's what she said she made on her test. And Usagi calls Umino a word. And I thought I recognized this word before, but I looked it up anyway. Calls him an otaku. And otaku basically is a geek or a nerd. Okay. Somebody who obsesses over stuff or whatever. So we would be, in Japan, we'd be considered otaku because we obsess over comics.
The otakus with beards.
Yeah, there you go.
We're branching out worldwide.
Yeah. And I think if I remember right, they said the word kind of becomes synonymous when like Gundam first started over in Japan.
Is it derogatory there? Is it about the same? Or
I think it can be, depending on how people choose to use it, I believe.
All right.
But that's basically what it means. Geek, nerd, somebody's obsessed with something, And she also says, he's a little creepy. And I love how some characters in anime, when they draw him like that, he's got like swirls or spirals in his glasses. Like, you don't ever see his eyes. At least not in his first chapter, So he's bragging, "Yeah, I made 95%. I didn't even have to study." So, so they discuss about, the crimes that's been going on lately. And apparently there's been several robberies that's been happening around where they live lately. And Yumino mentions that Sailor V was the one to stop them all. Like every one of them, Sailor V was there to stop. And he's like, "Hey, maybe she's like a secret agent for the local police or something, I don't know. She's pretty cool." And then Naru mentions to Usagi that, "Hey, my family, they run a jewelry store. We're having a big sale going on. My mom's had a big sale going on since yesterday. Even we can afford the jewelry there. So, hey, why don't we stop by before we go home and check it out? Maybe we can get something." So they stop by the jewelry store and Naru's mom is there and she's got like a kind of like a little a horn kind of thing, hollering, "Hey, sale, sale, buy, great deals." And but her mom's acting a little odd. Nobody else notices it, and I love how they draw the panel, and it kind of has like the shadow over the top of her face. And usually in Japan, in the cartoons and even in mangas, when there's a shadow over the top of the head or over the eyes, it's like, yeah, it's nefarious, some bad dudes or whatever's going on. So, but she's acting a little weird, but nobody's noticing it yet. And she says to herself that she needs more youth energy and that she needs to lure more young people, many, many more young people into this jewelry store. And so Usagi leaves because she's like, oh, I can't ask for a gift because I made 30% on the test and my allowance is already gone. I'm just going home. Everybody else is in there. They're getting little rings and they're getting necklaces and stuff. She's like, I'm going home. And she's like, I gotta get rid of this test before I get home. I can't let mom find out, that I failed this test. So she crunches it up in a ball and she throws it away. And, when she does, she hits a guy in the head with it. And he's like, hey, she's like, hey, bump head. He's like, he's trying to put bumps on my head. And she turns around. She's like, who is this guy? Why is he wearing a tuxedo in the middle of the day? And he's like, hey, look, you've already got bumps on your head. She's like, they're not bumps, they're buns. Because she does, if anybody's seen Sailor Moon, she does have the two buns on each side of her head where her hair is made.
Meatball head.
Yeah, meatball head. Doesn't say it in that manga, but in the cartoon, he does say meatball head. In this one, he says bump head.
Bump head.
Bump head. She's like, they ain't bumps, they're buns. And he unravels the test. He looks like, ooh, 30%. He's like, ooh. And, he kind of makes fun of her a little bit, He's like, well, that's not a good thing. And so she leaves, and as she's leaving, he's kind of thinking to himself, he's like, I need to find the legendary silver crystal. He said, it might be in this jewelry store. It's not been in the other ones, but it might be in this one. So on her way home, Usagi stops by a game center and plays the Sailor V video game. And there's this guy that works there that she likes. And she thinks that he's cute, and he comes up. He's like, yeah, hey, keep at it. Come on, you can win. You can get a high score. Come on. And so they're sitting there playing a game, and soon enough, the black cat shows up, and the guy says, yeah, it's been coming around here for like 2 or 3 days. I don't get it. And he's like, hey, look, it's got a crescent moon bald spot on his forehead. I'm like, that's not a bald spot. It's not a bald spot. So after she gets done playing the game for a little while, she leaves, and she goes home. And as soon as she gets home, her mom's like, you're coming home awful late. She says, Umino said he made 95% on his English test. And she's like, oh, big mouth. I had to open his mouth. I was almost past mom. She's like, what'd you make on your test? Let me see it. She shows her the test. 30%? What? How can you fail 30%? Kicks her out of the house. She's like, if you're going to make this low of a grade, you don't deserve to eat. Kicks her out of the house. Basically locks her out. So he's sitting outside and she's crying and she's upset. She's like, oh, come on, let me in, please, come on. So her brother shows up, Shingo. He shows up and he kind of makes fun of her. He's like, I want a sister that's smart. He's like, why you gotta be such a dum-dum for? So she kind of kicks him in the butt or whatever. He goes in the house and she keeps making noise. She keeps hollering. She keeps beating on the door of the home like that. And you can see that Shingo and their mom is inside, I guess still fixing dinner. And Shingo's like, she's going to wake up the neighbors. She's going to bother the neighbors. She keeps making a lot of noise. So the mom finally lets her inside. Finally lets her in the house. And so she goes up to her room. And then we cut to Tuxedo Mask. And he's showing up at the jewelry store. And he sees that Naru's mom, and I'm doing quotations, says that she has collected quite a lot of energy by selling jewelry with these little crystals in them that drain the energy from the people who wear them. That's why she's been having this big sale, so she can get as many people to wear this jewelry that's got these crystals on it, so she can drain as much of their energy that she can. So we cut back to Usagi, who's in her room, and she's complaining about homework. She's like, oh, God, I don't want to do homework right now. She's like, hey, I'll take a little nap, then I'll do my homework. Well, while she's napping, she's woken up by Luna. And Luna comes in, and now Luna's talking. And she's like, you can talk? And she's like, and, in the show, Luna, to me, was female. At least from the voice.
Yes.
At least from the voice.
Yes. She was
at least
female and Artemis was male.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least in this first chapter, it's not said, but I'm going to go ahead and just assume in the original material, Luna was also female. So the black cat who can talk now, and basically because she took the Band-Aids off. The Band-Aids were hampering Luna's ability to talk and her kind of telekinesis powers. And she's like, I didn't think I was ever going to find you. She's like, I've been looking and looking and looking. And she said, thank goodness when you took those Band-Aids off, I allowed my powers to come back. So Usagi thinks she's dreaming. But Luna says, no, it's not a dream. And she gives her a shiny brooch. And Usagi's basically like, oh, this is pretty. What's this? She's like, look, take this. She's like, it contains, power that you're going to need to fight the evil that's coming. And so she gives the brooch, and she tells Usagi that only her and her teammates can stop the crimes and the evil that's committing the crimes. And again, Usagi still thinks she's kind of sleepy, she's dreaming, this can't be real. And she says, look, you still don't believe me, do you? So Luna says, look, say this, say moon. And when she does, she changes into Sailor Moon. The power comes out of the brooch, basically. She becomes Sailor Moon, have a transformation sequence. And she can see through her goggles, which I thought was cool, that she's wearing these goggles, and that she can see through her goggles that Naru is in trouble. And she just says, oh, I've got to go help her. And what's going on is we cut to I'm assuming it's the jewelry store, I believe, or their home. And Naru is being attacked by her mom, but we find out that it's not her mom. That it is I say monster. I know the cartoon gave her a name, and I forgot what it was now. I forgot what the name was the cartoon gave her. But I'm going to say monster. It's kind of what she becomes. A monster, a witch kind of looking creature, an evil creature. And she starts attacking Naru, and she's basically choking her out, basically going to kill her. And she's like, oh, I'm not your mother. Your mother's dead in the basement. She's starved to death. And, Naru's all really upset. But while this is happening, we find out that her mom is okay because Tuxedo Mask he didn't really do anything in this first chapter.
Well,
he doesn't
really do anything anyway.
He kind of just pops up, but he does go check on Naru's mom and finds out that she is tied up, but she is still alive. She's not dead. He's
a distraction.
Yeah. So Sailor Moon shows up and introduces herself to the monster and says, she's like, who are you? And she's like, I'm Sailor Moon. I'm here, to protect the good people, stop evil. And the creature's like, well, I've never heard of you. I don't know who you are. So, the creature is able to use the other people that are still wearing the jewelry kind of as slaves. They're like mind controlled because they're still wearing that jewelry that's got that crystal in it. So she calls upon them to wake up and to attack Sailor Moon. And they do. They attack Sailor Moon. They come at her, they start fighting at her and stuff. And she falls, bless her heart, and kind of scuffs her knee. She's like, this ain't a dream. This is real. This hurts. I want to go home. She starts kind of crying and sobbing a little bit and wants to go home. And as she's doing that, her brooch starts emitting like this kind of a hypersonic noise or whatever. And in doing that, it wakes up, I guess it destroys the crystals in the jewelry that the people are wearing because it kind of wakes them up and from being mind controlled. And it also causes pain to the main, creature that's in there because it's holding its ears like, oh my God, what is this sound? What is this sound? And, Luna looks at Sailor Moon and says, look, say this, say Moon Tiara Boomerang. So Sailor Moon says that. She says, Moon Tiara Boomerang, takes her tiara off and throws it. And when she does, it goes and it cuts off the head of the creature. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Zoosh, just cuts it right off. And the rest of the creature's body turns to sand. And just, that's it. And of course, like I said, you see everybody else. The other people, they were laying on the floor, but they're starting to wake up and they have no memory. They're like, what happened? Why am I still in the jewelry store? Where am I? What's going on? And, so Tuxedo Mask introduces himself to Sailor Moon and, he says, I'm here to help you. He says, I'm one of the good people. He said, we'll meet later on, if you ever need my help. And she's looking at him. She's like, oh, He's so handsome. He reminds me of the famous thief Lupin, which is another anime and manga that they did like in the 70s or whatever. I've watched some of the anime. It's really good. Lupin the Third or Lupin the Third. It's a good one. I like it. So we end this first chapter with Usagi going home, and the next day Naru, they're at school, and she's telling the other students, she's like, oh yeah, all this stuff was happening, and my mom tried to kill me and find out it wasn't my mom. It was some kind of evil creature. And like, oh my gosh, this girl saved us, and she was dressed in a sailor suit, but I didn't get to see her face. And, Usagi sitting there listening to him, and Luna is up on her shoulder, and Luna kind of looks at her, and she's like, what are you thinking about, Usagi? And she's like, you're heavy. And she's like, you are heavy. And then she's like, oh man, this was not a dream. This was all real. And she's like, basically she's sitting there saying to herself, what's going to happen to me now? What is this now? I've become Sailor Moon? What is this? And basically, that's how it ends. The first chapter ends of the manga. And like I said, I really liked it. First time ever reading the manga. I really enjoyed it. I've read mangas before. I own some Transformers mangas. But first time ever reading Sailor Moon, I enjoyed it. I did. I liked it a lot. What about you, man? What did you think about it?
Well, this is my first manga ever read. So
Okay.
It took me a minute to adjust to it, but...
Oh, the reading right to left?
Right to left, top to
Yeah.
bottom.
Yep.
Yeah. But overall, I thought it was really good, too.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork's really good. Because the girl that wrote this, or written this, she also drew it.
Yeah, Naoko, she did it. Yeah,
Yeah.
wrote it and drew it, yeah.
She's kind of like a James O'Barr type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she owns all the rights to it and everything. But as far as this goes, yeah, it's really good.
I liked it a lot. So we also, for me and Sean, we also decided to watch the first episode of the anime, and it was the original Deke dub from, I think, 95, I think is when that came out.
Might have been a little earlier.
Maybe a little bit earlier.
I want to say like 93, 94. It all happened really quick the way they did it.
So we watched the first episode in comparison to the manga. And of course, right off the bat, with these original dubs, it's Americanized. Everybody's names is changed. Everybody's name is given basically an American name. Usagi becomes Serena. Naru becomes Molly. Umino becomes... Oh, what was his name? Damn, I forgot what his name was now.
Yeah, it did too. It's just
yeah,
brain fart.
Something started with an E on. I forgot what his name was. So it was definitely Americanized as far as that way. And bless Molly's heart, or Naru, what was that Jersey, New York accent that they gave her? That stood out among everybody.
It was really bad.
It's like, yeah, my mom, she owns a jewelry store. I'm like, what? What is this accent?
It was thick.
What is this? I mean, it was like, I know it was the mid-90s, but damn. Yeah, like I said, what other differences did I notice?
Well, the first episode, it had a lot more setup as far as the dark realm or whatever they were calling it.
Yeah, actually, and I did just briefly, I flipped through the second chapter, and in the manga, we don't see Queen Beryl until the second chapter.
Yeah.
In this first episode, they kind of go ahead and introduce you to Queen Beryl.
To give it a setup.
Yeah, and one of her generals, and which he popped up in the first chapter, but I forgot what his name was. It's...
Malachi?
No, I don't think it was Malachi. It starts with an L. I forgot now.
I'm terrible.
It's in there.
Stuff,
I forgot now what his name was, but he popped up briefly. So yeah, they kind of went and threw her in the first episode to kind of let you know who the villain was. But other than that, it kind of plays out the same way. Naru, Molly, her mom is the creature, or the creature's pretending to be her mom, having this big sale at the jewelry store, taking people's energy, using the jewelry that's got those crystals in it. Tuxedo Mask shows up. And like you said, when she throws the test, hits him in the head, he calls her Melon Head or whatever. Meatball Head.
Yeah.
And I don't think her brother is shown in the first episode, is he? I don't remember him. I don't remember the brother showing up.
I just watched it too. I want to say, I know the mom was, because that whole scene was in there.
Yep.
The 30% thing.
Yep. And I noticed, too, because this was for English-speaking audiences, they changed the test from an English test to a math test.
Yeah.
I do know Deke did do some editing, and it kind of cropped a little bit of time out of it, and a little bit, because there is, not bad, but there is a little bit, I read a little bit of brief nudity every once in a while in an episode.
Yeah.
Nothing gratuitous, that's just how anime is. And Deke did do some editing, so they could have edited a section out where maybe her brother was popped up in there. Or he may pop up later in the cartoon, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't remember in the first episode.
And the dad wasn't there yet?
No. Let's see. Oh, difference with the cat. Instead of her stepping on Luna in the manga, in the cartoon you see these kids are picking on Luna.
Yeah.
And she sees that and goes over there and picks Luna up and takes the Band-Aids off. What else was different? Oh, instead of the brooch doing the kind of the power, whatever, hits the little like crystals or whatever that's on her buns on her head.
Yeah.
And she's not, at least in the first episode, she's not wearing the little goggles.
I don't remember ever seeing the goggles. Like, we're in almost to season 3, and I haven't seen them yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not unless maybe they brought up in later.
Yeah. To
animes
the best of my
maybe.
knowledge, I mean.
Yeah, she doesn't have the goggles, and she can hear, like you hear Molly Naru's voice coming through the little crystal on one of her buns to go help her. And of course, because at the time they had to edit out violence, there was no. Now I don't know in the original anime if there was a decapitation shown or not, but in this version, she throws her tiara, which she doesn't say moon tiara boomerang. She says something else. Forgot what it was now, but she throws it, and basically it's like a bright flash of light consumes the creature. And then the whole body of the creature becomes sand.
Yeah.
And disappears.
Like dust.
Yeah, and disappears.
We should have watched the Japanese version, too. Compare that, too.
Yeah. Like I said, I know I looked it up because I knew that there was some editing that Deke had done originally. Because I think if I read it right, they had only done the first 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. And then, unfortunately, here in America, it didn't do too well, so it kind of got canceled. And then we got reruns for a little while, and then it got picked up later on again for new. They continued it. Apparently, it did really good in Canada though.
Yeah,
at the time. Yeah, I don't know with animes. I think they said like later releases or later re-releases of the original show, they re-edited stuff to make it more original.
Yeah.
Like put most of the stuff back in that Deke might have taken out or whatever nowadays. And I think they might use the original names and not have the Americanized names now in the re-releases.
I want to say the Hulu remaster, whatever they did.
Use the names.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most animes nowadays, the few that I've watched over the past couple of years, they normally use the original Japanese names for characters.
Yeah.
They don't Americanize them. Back then, I guess they thought kids wouldn't understand or something. I don't know.
Well, they wanted to make it more accessible.
They did.
Yeah.
They did, true. So, my personal opinion, I preferred the manga over the Deke anime, but granted, that was just the first episode. So, if I watched more of it, maybe I would enjoy the anime as well. But overall, this was a great experience. I really enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed going back and rewatching that first episode because as soon as that music hit, I'm like, yep, I remember this. Yep. I remember watching this on either USA or Toonami.
The 5-minute transformations.
I remember it. I liked it a lot.
This girl,
Naoko.
Okay, so her history is that she really wanted to do comics since she was a kid. Mm-hmm. That was like one of her big things, but her dad wanted her to go to college and get a degree just as a backup. Mm-hmm. So she did that. I believe it was in some kind of chemical engineering or some kind of scientific stuff.
Okay.
And that's why they throw a bunch of that stuff in there. But she writes a couple short stories. I forget what they call them. It's like shogu or something where it's just like love stories, pretty much.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I've seen it, but I forgot
There's
the
a
pronunciation.
specific term, and I apologize. I can't remember it. But so she does a couple of those, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to do one that has a little bit more violence in it, and that's where she does the Sailor V thing. And they're like, hey, we love this. Let's do more. Yeah. She's like, well, I'm going to make a team. And her original design for Usagi, she had gray hair.
Okay.
And they're like, no, this won't sell.
Okay.
So they kept fighting back and forth. And she's pretty cool because, like, she would stand up to the editors and stuff.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Which is, like, not common then.
Yeah. I read something that she was kind of wanting to just keep it, like, maybe, like, just do it, like, one volume or whatever.
Yeah.
But they were so popular that they're like, hey, would you please make more?
Yeah, she was, like, so burned out by the end. She's
Yeah.
like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But, like, between her finishing this and it was, like, a few months till they got the anime going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, within months.
Yeah, I was reading that. They said that the manga and anime were only like months differences, so it was pretty accurate to the manga. There might have been maybe a month waiting period between her finishing a chapter or whatever, and then them being able to animate the adaptation or whatever.
It's almost like Game of Thrones. Like, they started to have to go ahead because she couldn't keep up or whatever. So it's exactly like Game of Thrones. But anyway, she does that for a while, and then she's like, all right, I'm done, and then she goes on some other books. But she's still doing, like, re-releases on them, and then they start talking about a live-action movie in the early 2K, and she goes, yeah, this is never going to work as a live-action movie. There's just no way.
I know it came out, I think 2003. I think that's why they did these re-releases that you have. Mm-hmm. I've never seen it, and I know they did a lot of anime movies as well. I don't know if you could do... If you could do live action or not, they've done live action on.
You could now.
You could now.
Yeah.
2003. I don't know.
And you got to think like the Fantastic Four movies were then. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I know some of the live action stuff that they've done it's come out pretty good. They've done some of like Rurouni Kenshin. I've not watched the live action one of Death Note. I heard it wasn't that good. I think it was Americanized to a point. I think the anime I love, but I've never watched the live action though. But yeah,
her husband does mangas too. She met him like after the fact.
Oh, okay, cool.
I wish I could remember the name of it.
Okay.
But anyway, and to this day she's still doing stuff for her. So she oversees everything, kind of like I said, James O'Barr, and kind of took off like Ninja Turtles, like we talked about back then.
I know it's one of the most popular Japanese properties. That came across to America.
I want to say it's like top 3.
Yeah, it's very
you got
popular. Hello
Kitty. You got
as far as the mangas and animes go like that, I mean, it's you say Sailor Moon and somebody has at least like me at least watched an episode or two of the cartoon.
Yeah,
like Dragon Ball. Cowboy Bebop, stuff like that. It's one of those top shows. Everybody at least has some connection to it in one shape or form.
And you talked about the controversy with a little bit of nudity, especially knowing now that they're in middle school. But they also had the controversy with the two that were in love with each other.
Was it Mercury and Venus? Or
no, it was
Uranus and Neptune.
Neptune. Yeah.
Okay. And they made them cousins in the American version of the cartoon. Yeah, because, and I was surprised by that because again, I knew no history about the original cartoon other than I know that it was edited heavily about the LGBT relationships.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Apparently it's more open over there, or at least it was at the time she was writing this.
Right. Because I had no idea about that history. I just knew it was edited due to some violence and, like I said, a little brief nudity here every once in a while. Nothing gratuitous, like maybe transformation sequences, bathing or showering scenes every once in a while or whatever. They would just like either make the water like super like opaque where you couldn't see nothing or whatever. But yeah, I had no idea about that until I read a little bit on it, which is cool. Whatever, man,
That's why it was so popular, because girls could relate to it, and guys just thought they were pretty.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. She draws them very pretty.
Yeah.
Very, very pretty.
She's very good artist.
And she draws the men very handsome, the tuxedo masks and stuff like that, yeah.
I swear, dude, I don't recall a lot, because we watched so many in such a short time, but, like, every episode, he'll throw a rose.
Yep.
And then he just walks away. I'm like...
It said, I don't know about the cartoon, but it said like in the manga that he was kind of like, kind of almost like a sensei to him. Like he would give him advice and stuff like that. But he is part of the I guess the Sailor Guardians or however it's said, I believe.
Technically this is called Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon.
Yeah. And I don't know about the manga. Listeners, you can correct me, because I know I'm wrong. But also the beginning of the cartoon, it gives you a little bit of the history that Serena or Usagi is the princess.
Yeah.
of a queen from the moon, and even all the other Sailor Scouts. Like, they were all sent to Earth because Queen Beryl had destroyed the moon, or excuse me, not the moon, but destroyed the kingdom or whatever. And
Crystal
they were all
Kingdom or
something like that. Yeah, they were all sent to Earth to save them, but like their memories were wiped, so they would have no memory of it. Which I'm assuming as the show goes on that changes. The memories will come back. I'm guessing at some point.
They do a lot of back and forth.
Which
what I've seen.
This is not, again, in the first chapter, which is all that we read, that was not mentioned at all. So I'm assuming that is accurate to the manga, possibly because it was in the cartoon, because they did say it was pretty accurate to the manga. So it's something they probably picked up from later chapters and just threw it in there. You know? It's like, well, we got to fill 20 minutes and give the kids something to be excited about.
They got to know what's going on.
Yeah, we can't just think the kids are smart enough to figure it out. We got to put it out there for them.
All right, so you got some comments?
Yeah, I put it out there. If anybody had any personal history or just thoughts about Sailor Moon, if they want to share them with us, we got a couple. This comes from the Dissect That Film Discord, and the first one I have here is from Baroness Von Doom from from Doom Generation Podcast. Says, I used to love Sailor Moon, but haven't watched it in years. One of my graduation gifts was a Sailor Moon watch I found in a shop on Melrose. I still have it in a box somewhere. Well, you need to dig it out and send us some pictures of it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then I also have one from Dan from the Dissect That Film Podcast. He says it was one of the first anime series I watched with my brother as a kid. I believe it was on Fox, but I recall them running season 2 first for some reason, which was Sailor Moon R, I believe. We later caught the first season on Toonami. I swear, I feel like it was either USA Network or Toonami when I first watched a couple of episodes here and there. I know it did come on Fox Kids, but I don't remember if I watched them or not.
Well, I remember the Fox Kids came on in the morning because, like, I'd set it to tape on VHS, like, every morning.
Yeah, I did read it. They said when it first came out, they were putting it like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Who the hell? There ain't no kids going to get up no 6 o'clock, even if they're going to school.
Not true.
Not well. I didn't. I got up at like 7.
And the only reason I got into it is because my wife's like, hey, have you seen this show? I'm like, no. She goes, I really want to watch them. Like, all of them. I was like, well, I can tape them. I got 2 VCRs. And just...
Yeah, man.
But, yeah, every morning.
Let's see. We got one more from the Discord here. So this is from Lo Wang. I remember watching all through the 90s and early 2000s. Used to come on at 3 p.m. on the local Fox station. Then at 6 a.m. on the same station before it moved over to Toonami at 4 p.m. in either late 1999 or early 2000. I won't say it's what got me into anime, but it did fuel the addiction. Yeah, Lo Wang, I believe that's true for a lot of people. It was either... Because this probably came to America before Dragon Ball. I don't remember 100%.
To my knowledge, yeah.
It was either this one or Dragon Ball for sure that would have got people kind of into anime. Me was Dragon Ball. That's what I first watched as far as my exposure to anime goes. All right, and the last one that I have is from Ryan, Radical Ryan Hunter, from the Radical Rewind podcast. And he says, hi, Daniel and Sean. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share my love of Sailor Moon. Back in junior high and even through high school, the show was a huge escape for me. I was an overweight kid, and Sailor Moon quickly became one of my favorite forms of comfort and escapism, alongside Charmed and Buffy. Hey, I like me some Buffy. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Charmed is way better.
Excuse you.
Just
Buffy
saying.
had Angel, damn it.
I mean, that speaks for itself.
And Spike. Drusilla.
Charmed had, all the sisters. And then Julian McMahon.
Oh, rest in peace, Julian McMahon. Yeah, he was a great actor, yeah. I watched a handful of Charmed, not a lot. It was better. I've always loved Usagi/Serena. A lot of modern fans give the original Deke dub a hard time, but the truth is, without the success of shows like Sailor Moon, we would not have seen the breakthrough of Dragon Ball and countless other anime series that followed. From the music in both the Japanese and English versions to the characters themselves, Sailor Moon has been the soundtrack of many parts of my life. What always stood out to me is that Serena wasn't naturally someone who wanted to be a hero. She's clumsy, she loves food, and crushes on boys. And she doesn't always want the responsibility. But when it matters most, she'll fight for her friends and even sacrifice her life for the good of the world. Her powers are truly unmatched. Inside her locket, she houses the Imperium Silver Crystal, a force so powerful that calling on it often costs her life because of the toll it takes. And yet, through the power of love and friendship, she always returns to save the day once more. To me, she's one of the greatest heroes in any form of media, and one that I will forever love and appreciate. He goes on to say, thank you so much again, and thank you both for being part of our recent, well, I mentioned you in name because you weren't able to be there, the Thundercats bonus episode that you had linked in our last episode.
Yes.
Basically, that was me going on there. They wanted both of us, but Sean couldn't make it, unfortunately. And it was basically talking about the newer Thundercats comics and my history with Thundercats, what I thought about it, how growing up with it and stuff.
I apologize.
Hey, Sean's busy, man. He's got his music and just real life stuff in general. It's hard to make time sometimes. But we both thank you for asking us to be on there, and I'm very grateful that I was able to be on there. And thank you, Ryan, for that. I'm glad it means so much to you.
That's a really good submission.
It is. Ryan, he loves Sailor Moon so much. And yeah, that's kind of how I am, I guess, with growing up as a kid with Transformers in the 80s. I have that connection. And it's really great that something like this, cartoon or comic, music, anything, can mean that much to you.
True that.
You know what I'm saying? If you're going through hard times like he was as an overweight child and stuff, it's something good to have, that escapism. But, so what do you have for us, man? You have anything from our listeners?
Our wonderful girl Autumn has sent us a submission in.
Very cool, very cool.
So we're going to hear that.
Hi, it's Autumn. So today I figured since y'all are doing your Sailor Moon episode, I would do a countdown here, one of my rankings like I usually do. I would be also do a little bit of a kind of just history on Sailor Moon, because I know a lot about Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is one of my go-to favorite pieces of media. It's just one of my favorite stories of all time. I love Sailor Moon. So I also give kind of just some history on it. So, first and foremost, Sailor Moon, which y'all are covering now, the manga, chapter 1, that was published in, I believe it was 91 or 92. It was written by Naoko Takeuchi. And now, Sailor Moon started as another series called Codename Sailor V, which I also own physically. Codename Sailor V is, Sailor Venus from the Sailor Moon series. She was originally the hero. She had her cat Artemis, much like Sailor Moon has Luna. But she was just one superhero, and more of a typical superhero, masked hero and everything, with typical superhero stories. That ran a few chapters, and it was supposed to get an anime. I forget which studio was going to do it, but they were going to get an anime OVA, and it didn't happen. But what happened was Toei was going to do an anime, which was the animation studio that did that. They did Dragon Ball, they did, One Piece, Saint Seiya, a bunch of stuff like that. But they were going to do an anime. But see, at the time, Super Sentai was really popular, which if you don't know what Super Sentai is, it was the basis for Power Rangers. It was like an anthology series, every season would be a different story about a different team of superheroes, but at the end of the day, it was always a team of superheroes fighting rubbery villains. And when you get to the 90s with that, there was a season, Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger, that was the basis for the original Power Rangers. And ever since then, each season of Power Rangers has used footage from Super Sentai. But anyway, I say that because Super Sentai was really popular at the time, and it was a Toei franchise. And Toei wanted a team of superheroes. They wanted it to be more like Super Sentai. So they asked of Naoko Takeuchi to create a whole team of superhero girls. And that's why she didn't end Codename Sailor V. Codename Sailor V kept going and lasted about as long as Sailor Moon did, but whereas Sailor Moon would come out regularly, chapters of Sailor V would come out really, sporadically. But Codename Sailor V was the original work, and she just kind of reworked it into being a prequel to Sailor Moon set beforehand, and it even gave cameos of the girls from Sailor Moon. And then when Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon came out, that was just her trying to create her team of heroes. And then you have the whole like team of, like I said, the Sailor Senshi. Some people know as the Sailor Guardians, the Sailor Scouts, the Sailor Soldiers, but that would be incorrect according to Naoko Takeuchi. I usually call them the Sailor Senshi, but that so what you're reading here is very different from the anime. When the anime came out, it was from Toei, it was very different from the manga. I actually prefer the anime myself. The anime to Sailor Moon, I think, gives the characters a lot more character development. Like, when you're reading the manga, first chapter, you're introduced to Sailor Moon. Second chapter, you're introduced to Sailor Mercury. Third chapter, you're introduced to Sailor Mars. Fourth chapter, you're introduced to Sailor Jupiter. Fifth chapter, you're introduced to Sailor Venus. You watch the anime, you have some time where it's just Sailor Moon by herself. Then Sailor Mercury, and then you have a couple episodes where it's her and Mercury. Then Sailor Mars, and then you have a good bit that's just it's just Moon, Mercury, and Mars. Then Jupiter joins, and then like you have some episodes where it's the four of them, and then like by the time Sailor Venus shows up, I mean, this has been going on for I think like 30 episodes. So I think the anime just gives you a lot more, like, it has this like creature of the week kind of thing going on, but it really gives you more character development, and I think lets you love the characters more. But if you like the manga, a lot of people do like the manga better, and if you like the manga better, then there's a new anime that, well, no, I say new, but it's like 10 years old, Sailor Moon, forget what it's called, Sailor Moon Crystal, yeah. Sailor Moon Crystal is a lot closer to the manga, and more runs at the manga's pace, which that's my problem with the manga, is I think it's paced a little fast, but also I might be biased because I started with the anime. But that's a little bit on that, and what I got here today is my countdown of the Sailor Senshi. I'm going to be ranking all 11 Sailor Senshi. Now, I'm only going to be ranking them as per the anime. The 5 seasons of the anime: Sailor Moon R, Sailor Moon S, Sailor Moon Super S, and Sailor Moon Sailor Stars. I'm not going to be ranking them as per the manga. There's a few mentioned in the manga who are never showed up in the anime, but in the anime, you have 11 Sailor Senshi, and I'm going to rank them here. Okay, so we got number 11, we have, I won't spoil her true form for anybody who doesn't know, but you have Sailor Chibi Chibi Moon, or her name is Chibi Chibi, and she's just a little girl from the last season, from Sailor Stars, and like I said, I won't say too much, because, I mean, most of what I could say about her would be kind of a spoiler, but just know that she's probably my least favorite, but all the characters are great. Then number 10, I have Sailor Neptune. Her name was Michiru, but if you watch the dub, her name was Michelle. Now, there was two dubs back in the day and one dub now. There was the Deke dub, which they started dubbing. They did Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon R. And it started to get canceled because with that dub, they were going to do... it wasn't doing well. And it suffered this fate that a lot of things back in the day did, where they would put a kids show on at like noon on weekdays, and then wonder why kids weren't watching it. So, it got canceled for that reason. But it's one of the first times that, like, a fandom on the internet was able to get something done, because this was like in like the early days of the internet. It had a fandom of like adults who kind of got together and said, hey, you know, we need to keep this going. So, I believe it was Kellogg's heard that and decided to keep the dub going, and they said, you know, you can keep the dub going, just include Kellogg's commercials. So they kept it going, got canceled again. They never, to my knowledge, I don't think they ever got to even air R, but then later when Toonami on Cartoon Network was really starting up, they got to keep that. They were just trying to pull action cartoons from anywhere they could. Like the original lineup, they had like Thundercats, Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. They had this thing called Cartoon Roulette, where they play a lot of old cartoons like Herculoids and Space Ghost and all. Voltron, Robotech. They were just pulling action cartoons from anywhere they could. So they wanted Sailor Moon, and they said, sure, take it. Nobody's watching it. They aired it after school, when kids were actually home to watch it. So, and it became a huge sensation, and people really loved Sailor Moon, and it was one of the first, like, really, really popular animes in America. So after that, it was kind of they continued the dub, but Deke no longer dubbed it. Afterward, the Cloverway dubbed the rest of it. Seasons 3 and 4, Sailor Moon S and Sailor Moon Super S. We didn't get Sailor Moon Sailor Stars in America until the 2010s, the 5th season, because there was some stuff that needed censored, but like was important and crucial to the plot, so like there was no way they could have censored it and even left it intact, so they just chose not to dub the last season. Now, the reason I say all this is because I'll keep saying the Deke dub and the Cloverway dub. If I'm talking about those are the same kind of run, but there was different voice actors in the Cloverway dub. But yeah, she was Michiru in the original Japanese version and in the Viz dub, which was the dub from the 2010s that was done for like the anniversary and all. And it was a better dub. It was less kind of cheesy and more close to the source material. And kept all the names intact. But she was in the Viz dub, and the original, her name was Michiru, and her name was Michelle in the Cloverway dub. And she was Sailor Uranus's partner. I like Sailor Uranus a lot better, but I do like Sailor Neptune. She's really cool. She's a good character. And then number 9, a little hot take here. Number 9, I've got Sailor Mars, Ray, who kept her name intact in all the dubs, just it was spelled differently. Sailor Mars is cool. I like Sailor Mars. I know she's a fan favorite. And like I said, I love all the Sailor Senshi, but she is one of my lesser favorites. I do like her design, and I like her, like some of her fire powers, like the burning mandala and all that. I think that's really cool. But yeah, one of my lesser favorites. Then number 8, I have Sailor Pluto, who was named Setsuna in the Viz dub in the original Japanese, and in the Cloverway dub her name was Trista. She is I like her. I love Sailor Pluto's design. Sailor Pluto's really cool, and she's like one of the most powerful Sailor Senshi. And I won't say too much about her because, like I said with Chibi Chibi, it would kind of spoil some stuff, so I won't really say too much, but just know Sailor Pluto is really cool. Then number 7 is a character I love, Sailor Chibi Moon, or they called her in the Deke dub and all that, and the Cloverway dub, Sailor Mini Moon. And her name was Chibiusa, but the dub called her Rainy. Now the reason for this was, in the Deke dub, Sailor Moon was not named Usagi, she was named Serena. So Chibiusa is supposed to be a play on Usagi. It's like little Usagi. So they took that whole concept and applied it to Serena and called her Rini. But she's supposed to be Sailor Moon's daughter from the future who's time traveled back in time and is kind of Sailor Mooning with her mom when she was a teenager. So, and she's funny. I really like her. Like, all the stuff with Chibi Moon is hilarious. I love Chibiusa. She's one of my favorite characters. Then number 6, I have her mom, Sailor Moon. Like I said, her name was Usagi, but in the Cloverway and Deke dubs, her name was Serena because she was the reincarnation of Princess Serenity. But also, if you watch some foreign dubs, I think it's like a Brazilian dub, and there's a couple dubs where her name is Bunny. And the reason for that is Usagi is the Japanese word for rabbit, and some dubs took that a little too literally and called her Bunny, because Bunny was a woman's name that was a little more common in the past that isn't now. I love Sailor Moon. She's great. She's one of those anime characters like Naruto, who's like kind of a klutz, but is like a lovable klutz, and we love her. I love Sailor Moon, and she's the main hero. Sailor Moon's great. Then number 5, we have Sailor Uranus. Her name was Haruka in the original Japanese version, or Amara in the Cloverway dub. Uranus, I just love her style. She's really cool. She was, back in the day, her and Sailor Neptune were a couple in the original Japanese version, and in the Viz dub, but in the manga and all that. But like in the Deke dub, they dubbed it to make them, because they were a lesbian couple, and they were dubbed to make them they were cousins, which looked really weird if you go back and watch it, because they leave everything intact. It's really weird, but Haruka is one of my favorite characters. I love her design, and like I said, I love her style. I love everything about her. She's really cool. Then, number 4, I say Sailor Mercury. Her name was Ami in the original Japanese version, or Amy in the Deke dub. She's just kind of the nerdy, bookish one, and she was my original favorite when I first started the series, and I just like her. They kind of build her up as she goes on. She is just kind of nerdy, and she becomes just full outright geeky as it goes on, and I love her. She's just adorable, and she's one of my favorite characters. Then number 3 is Sailor Venus, Minako, or Mina in the Deacon Clover Way dubs, and I love her too. She's another one that she's just really kind of like ditzy and like kind of a klutz, but like in a good, like, you love her way. I love Sailor Venus. She's great, and I just love how full of herself she is, but like, she also, like, loves her friends and, like, would do anything for all of her friends and stuff. And I really like her as a character a lot. Sailor Venus is great. Then number 2 is Sailor Saturn. Her name was Hotaru. And she actually got to keep that name in the Clover Way dub. She was kind of the main villain-ish of Sailor Moon S. I love Sailor Saturn. She's a great character. Sailor Saturn, I like her because she's a villain that, is a villain just because kinda she wants friends and is kind of just like an outsider, but she makes a friend with Chibiusa, but she's got some stuff going on behind the scenes that I won't get into for spoiler reasons, and turns into Sailor Saturn, who is this really powerful villain and with world-ending stakes. And I just love Sailor Saturn. She's so cool. And like I said, I love her design. She's just so awesome. Then number 1, my favorite, Sailor Jupiter. She was my favorite originally. Her name's Makoto, but she was named Lita in the Deke dub and the Clover Way dubs. She's great. I love Sailor Jupiter. Like, I really identify with her as a character, and I just love her design, love her story, love the way she acts. She's just really cool. Sailor Jupiter is maybe not my favorite anime character of all time, but she's definitely, like, in my top 3, or at least my top 5. I love Sailor Jupiter so much. She's just a wonderful character. Love her to death. But I also love, all the Sailor Senshi. They're just all great characters. They're, because when Naoko Takeuchi created them, she said she wanted to create, characters she felt, she wished were her actual friends. And, I feel the same way. They're so cool that you want to be just part of their group, I love them. But yeah, that's my countdown on the Sailor Senshi, ranking all 11 Sailor Senshi, and also gave a brief little bit of history on Sailor Moon. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to that, and I will definitely enjoy listening to y'all's Sailor Moon episodes. So, bye.
Well, thank you, Autumn. There's a lot of good information in there.
That is a true fan that knows a whole lot and has a lot of compassion, just like Ryan does for the property, and I love that. That's awesome. It's always good to have something like that, and it's good to have that history. I appreciate that history. We learned a little bit too.
Filled in a lot of gaps.
It did, yeah. And she was talking about Toei with the Sentai with the Rangers. Before that, in the 70s, they had done their own Spider-Man live action series, and he had like his own kind of like mech that he would fly into. So Spider-Man predates the Power Rangers, the Sentai. He kind of what inspired them to do the Sentai stuff was their Spider-Man or Super-Man series that they did. Yeah, Toei did a lot. They even animated Transformers that I loved, and G.I. Joe and stuff like that. So Toei's still around. They're still doing some great stuff.
And by the way, Autumn has started a podcast.
Oh, I forgot all about that. Yeah.
If you're into retro gaming, which we all know I am, it's called Gaming All Autumn. I've listened to the first 2 episodes. They're both 64 games. It's actually really good. I listen to probably gaming podcasts like 40 hours a week.
Yeah, hell yeah,
So this one I would listen to regardless. It's really good. So go check it out. I'll put a link in the comments and all that stuff.
Yep.
And she does some music stuff you can check out, too. I'll put the links to that.
Yeah, when you go listen to her podcast, give her 5 stars, give her a great review. Subscribe to her, yeah.
If you want to buy this Magna, it runs about $15-20.
It's not terrible. That's not terrible, no. And I didn't ask this, and you may know, how many volumes is this in total? For like the total run, do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. I thought I'd read something that it was like 12, but I might be mistaken about that, though. I don't remember.
Yeah. I mean, Tom said the show was like 5 seasons, so I'd imagine it's at least 12.
Okay. I thought I read something that said about 12, but again, I might be wrong. And I'm curious, you were talking about Crystal. Now, is that a complete reanimated, or is it?
Yeah, it's complete new animation. Complete. It's like Autumn said. It follows this.
Okay, so it is. What's what I'm going to say? Not a remake, but a
Retelling.
Retelling.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could watch that one, the new one, and you'd be okay. You wouldn't have to go and watch the Deke one
Correct.
if you didn't want to.
And I want to say the other dub one she was talking
The
about
Clover one, yeah.
was dubbed with these actresses too.
Okay,
And that's why I was calling the remaster. I may be wrong about that, but if I remember right, and that's when Hulu brought all the Sailor Moon stuff to them.
okay. So Crystal would be good. That'd be a good jumping on point for new fans that want to do that. And like you said, and like she was saying, that it is more closer to the manga.
Yeah, so
which I think I would enjoy that more. I know she said she really loved the Deke one, and I get that. But I'm always a little bit more, when it comes to mangas, trying to be closer to the source material, which I know. I'm sure Dragon Ball and all that stuff like it has nothing to do with the mangas a whole lot. I've never read those, so I can't compare that. But, okay, cool. Hell yeah. Because there's a lot of options out there for you if you can find it.
yeah.
Deke and the new one and all that stuff like that, so.
There's only one choice. No fun getting toasted. Oh! You're going down, Zoisite! Huh? Move! Prism!
It's her! Serena Sailor Moon!
All right, so as far as what we're doing next,
Halloween.
it's the Halloween celebration month.
Yes, we're going to have our next 2 episodes will be Halloween themed, kinda, in the horror genre in a way, kinda.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
And my pick will be From Hell.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was originally a comic, apparently.
Yeah, I've only watched the movie maybe once or twice.
So,
I think you've mentioned the book to me before, and it looked cool.
they say it's one of the best, like, horror Halloweenish kind of titles.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that might have to try to find the movie and compare that too, maybe,
Yeah.
and see. Because I remember enjoying the movie. I remember liking the movie when I watched it. That's been quite a while, though.
I've not seen it, so there you go.
It's the Johnny Depp, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking about? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. It's the
Was
Jack the Ripper
Yeah.
story. Yeah. See, he's in it.
Was it a Tim Burton movie?
I don't remember, honestly, if it was or not.
Okay. Either way.
Yeah, it's probably been 10 plus years since I watched the film, but I remember enjoying the movie. So yeah, that'd be awesome. I've never read that again. First time reading, man. I've never read that before, so that'd be
Same.
awesome. And then I'll tell my pick on our next episode. I'm gonna save that one. But so yeah, if you want to reach us, we have several ways to reach us. We have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram, we have a Discord where we talk about comic books, TV, video games, Sean's taco obsession, wrestling, just anything you can think of. It's a great place to come on there and talk to us. We also have a YouTube channel where our audio episodes are up for your listening pleasure. Also, we have toy videos that are on there that you can watch as well. We're on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts. So just pretty much anywhere.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends, tell your enemies.
Tell your lovers. Tell your babies.
Your baby's mamas, baby's daddies, whatever. We also have an email, geekswithbeardspod@gmail.com. Send us any kind of feedback you want to. Send us audio like Autumn has, and Sean will put it on the episode if you would want us to. So, yeah.
The movie, it just came in.
The Tubi movie.
Rectuma.
Huh?
Rectuma.
Rectuma?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You have to look it up.
I've got to watch it now.
Yeah, it's so terrible. You have to watch it.
It's not a tumor. All right, guys, on that note, we will leave you till the next time. I'm Dan. That was Sean. We'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.
Look at the sky! Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's...
Geeks with beards. Podcast.